Example with real-world assets, this is now a very real disruptive force to traditional finance. And for example, in our case, our focus right now is bringing $100 trillion worth of assets that DTCC is responsible for on-chain. Many folks here may not know who DTCC is and what we're responsible for. We're the principal record keeper for the U.S. financial markets. So we are all publicly traded securities. We hold a principal record keeping role. We're responsible for T+1 settlement. We're owned by the major banks and institutions. So effectively, we're a DAO for the U.S. financial markets. We're determined T+1 settlement is not good enough. We're really looking to take advantage of real-time settlement from blockchain rails. And it's our responsibility to bring those assets into the market.
DTCC is literally the premier piece of market infrastructure when it comes to securities. They have over, I think at this point, $100 trillion in assets under management. And are effectively, as he said, owned, they're effectively a DAO owned by all the largest financial institutions in the world. And what he says there is that they're looking to bring those assets onto blockchain rails. And the question must then be, what blockchains? Well, it's not just going to be one. There won't be one chain to rule them all. There's going to be multiple that enable an ecosystem in the same way that the internet is made up of multiple participants that allow or enable this global internet that we're communicating on right now. It's made up of many different protocols, some more dominant than others. But when it comes to DTCC, they specifically mention one distributed ledger a hell of a lot of times. And that leads me to believe that they have every inkling of implementing this distributed ledger in bringing those financial institutions that own DTCC onto the on-chain world and onto those new rails that are going to fundamentally revolutionize the financial system. Of course, I am talking about Stellar Lumens. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to do a number of things. We are going to be going back to that patent that was filed by George Daniel Dohna himself, where it specifically mentions in a number of occasions Stellar Lumens blockchain. Not only does it include it in its infographic, so here you can see Stellar is included. Also, you can see over here, it sort of demonstrates a transaction between XLM and XRP. I will do a video of XRP's implementation, certainly as DTCC have I think the partnership went live with Hidden Road, which XRP acquired in March. But they also mention it by word. So we'll be recapping on that. And then we're going to go over to their website in relation to all this and just show you how many times these guys actually mention the Stellar blockchain. I mean, it kind of cements for me the fact that DTCC, with what they're doing, are going to use and utilize XLM, which it was designed to essentially enable all of this from its inception. And I believe is part of the plan and part of essentially Peter Thiel's vision of value moving like information does on the internet, and it's moving into this kind of globalized internet of value world. So this is a video not to miss because this has huge ramifications. Like I say, DTCC are the premier securities clearing house that work with all the largest financial institutions in the world. They have like a 96% coverage in regards to their market. $100 trillion under management. I believe, through what we're going to show you in this video, that a lot of that is going to interact with the Stellar Lumens blockchain. And they actually implement the Stellar Lumens XLM token in some of their documents. What we should do, though, is look at an update that was given in May on where all this is at, because it kind of shows the realness of this situation and the timeline, if you will, of it. Let's dive into this, and then we're going to get into the evidence linking XLM to it.
So that's number one.
Yeah, let me stop you there. So that's the conversion order is one of those substantial underpinnings. So this is what DTCC is up to right now after the experiment. We want to make it possible for parties to receive on qualified public and private blockchains any asset that's in DTCC's inventory. So that's all roughly $90 trillion worth of our assets. We're racing to actually bring that to production. We expect it much sooner than any of you think, so that when you want to engage in transactions like these, you can. You simply pass in a conversion order, move to token form, and then move back again to traditional form.
Before we jumped in, question to you, how real is it? I mean, we're going to show a demonstration, of course, but how real do you think this is?
This is quite real. So the demonstration you're going to see here, not real value, but real smart contracts, real chains, real movement of value. This was built on a mock of DTC's core accounting systems, the DTC proper, ATP, for those who are in the know. So it's there. We're now taking and moving from mock to real to allow this to roll to production. So this is real stuff.
Production is literally round the corner, ladies and gentlemen. And we have previously spoken about the patent that was filed by none other than DTCC, by that individual talking, and of course the implications for Stellar, and we looked at it in relation to XRP also, because like I say, it's not just going to be one distributed ledger to rule them all. There are going to be multiple. I think what we can get from the patent and the evidence that I'm about to show you is that there's a damn good chance XLM is going to play a role in enabling the vision and the mission that Dan Done has there. For example, whether we look to kick things off again at the patent, you can see they specifically mention Stellar here. It's also mentioned and sort of diagrammed in regards to XRP and Stellar, a kind of remittance, if you will. And then, of course, they mention it specifically. You can see if we zoom in here, it essentially goes on to say, in this example, the specific transaction is transferred ABC token from the user A node on the Stellar distributed ledger system to user B on Ripple's DLT system. So they directly implement Stellar in regards to the patent that they filed. That was in November 2024, ultimately when the markets went on a pretty interesting rally. And then if we actually dive over to DTCC's website, Stellar is all over the place. And I think that's very confirming. So we know what their vision is. The question is, well, what DLTs are going to play a role? Well, the fact that Stellar's everywhere when it comes to this says an awful lot. You know, you can see here, this is tokenization platforms. This refers to blockchain technology infrastructure through which securrency services will provide the trust initially supporting the Ethereum and Stellar blockchains and other blockchains as parties may mutually agree to in the future. But right now, Ethereum and Stellar. Very, very interesting. This is under helpful terminology. It then talks about trading and settlement. So this is all part of their kind of documents on all of this. Getting straight into it, it says sample Stellar wallet syntax. The following provides a sample of wallet and email syntax. Delivered to, and then it gives you a group, for Stellar wallets, ensure that the intended recipients of the token has an established trust line. We will do a significantly longer video on Stellar's kind of built-in DEX, because I think they knew ultimately what was coming. You can see here more implications of Stellar. See here again, Ethereum and Stellar. Really the only kind of things coming up. The clawback feature, which we know Stellar has uniquely. These are two. This is under trading and settlement. This is under helpful terminology. This is under token management now. And what we see here is chain source wallet, token XLM. I mean, this data is pretty significant given what DTCC are trying to do and their sort of implications of Stellar, the XLM token. This is huge stuff, guys. Get excited about this. Token XLM. You know, we're just uncovering more and more of this as we go along. And we're going to find so many people. Stellar, token XLM again. I mean, this is crazy stuff. This has got me very, very excited, guys. Again, token XLM. I mean, the writing's really on the wall. So there are three, I mean, multiple, we're talking 10 implications of Stellar on their website already. If we look here also, this is talking about Ethereum token import. So it's just a trench can have one token per supported ledger. For example, a trench can have one Stellar token, one Ethereum token, etc. View instructions on how to create a new tranche. Essentially talking about how they're going to facilitate bringing the $100 trillion on chain. And they're specifically mentioning Stellar Lumens here. So more implications. And then this, of course, is the sort of final one. And the wallets serve a function of the network that you are on. Currently, capital market platforms support the Stellar and Ethereum networks. Just these two for now. For Stellar, base trade wallet transfer 15 XML. To issue wallet during, they meant to put XLM there, they messed that up. To issue wallet during the assurance for Ethereum, best trade 0.1 ETH. So you need a balance to actually facilitate this. So that's the demand for the XLM token. This is directly implementing the XLM token. An issuant wallet has 15 XLM for the Stellar blockchain. These funds are transferred from base wallets. So everyone that wants to use XLM is going to need it, essentially. Issuing wallets is an owner of the token issued in Stellar. I mean, guys, get excited. Be over the moon with what we're showing you right now. We looked at what DTCC's agenda is. The markets are pulling back right now. When it comes to Stellar, this is one of the most bullish charts in the entire cryptocurrency space. I'm not going to give you my price prediction because people won't believe it. But it's over $10, I'll give you that. And we've been buying a hell of a lot of it in the sort of 7 cents range. Guys, it's a great time we've got ahead of us. This is what XLM ultimately was designed to do from inception. And it's doing it now. And the regulations and participants are advancing on it. So we've shown you DTCC mentioning it through patents. Also, the fact that they're looking so far to enable this on Ethereum and XLM predominantly. And that they directly implement the XLM token throughout all of this. Majorly bullish, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Connect the dots for yourself, and I'll see you all in the next one.